Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Swamp here at Glenwood School. It's the dawn of a new season of Glenwood softball as the Gators host the Montgomery Catholic Knights from Montgomery about an hour and a half up the road to begin the season of 2026. Noah Shelton and Matt Melton here with you, going to do the producing and the color commentating tonight, wearing two hats. I'm just wearing one. But Glenwood and Montgomery Catholic, these two teams familiar with each other. Played 3 times last season, a home and home in a game in a tournament, and Montgomery Catholic won the season series 2-1. Gators coming in, missed the playoffs last year. Both these teams missed the playoffs last year. Gators finished 3rd in the region with a 2-4 area record. Montgomery Catholic finished 3rd in theirs with a record of 3-3 in region play. For the Gators, going to be 3 seniors this season, including the starting pitcher tonight for the Glenwood Gators. Brooke Morrell is going to take the mound. Bethany Derdalski, who's going to bat 7th and be the designated player. She's a senior, as well as Claire Hargrove, not in the starting lineup, but could be a part of the Gators team in effort tonight. The leadoff for the Knights, Riley Wilcoxon, Haley Ishman, and Peyton Dees for the Knights. First pitch on the left edge of the strike zone, called a strike. Morrell, who was the ace for the Gators last year, ERA of just over 4 last season. Second pitch outside for a ball. I'd like to remind you, this is the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood. Thank you to Zaxby's for your support of Georgia-Alabama Sports Live and being the official sponsor of all things Glenwood athletics here on the channel. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. Wilcoxon batted .450 last year, second highest average on the team. But the lefty finds herself in a 1-2 hole. The pitch, chopped towards second. Good collection, a fire over the first by Caroline Chapa. And Wilcoxon is retired 4-3.
Yeah, no, a really good start here for the Lady Gators. Head coach Josh McConnell. Morrell pounding the strike zone here early, gets a ground out to second. Couldn't script a better start to the season defensively for the Lady Gators.
Now Haley Ishman going to step in next to the dish. First pitch to her from Morrell in their first strike. Ishman, the highest average on the team last season at .476. Also had 2 home runs and batted in 13. Hard line drive off the glove of Morrell and caught in the air by Chapa. How about that ricochet in the catch? Quickly 2 down.
Yeah, no, a heck of a play. That might be a potential Houlihan's highlight of the week nominee right there.
Nice reflexes by Chapa off the carom off the glove of Morrell.
Morrell and Chapa teaming up there. And again, just a good start defensively here for the Lady Gators.
So now Peyton Dees. Low stance for the righty, and the pitch low and inside for ball 1. These last year batted .333. Second on the team with 20 runs batted in last season. Morrell's second pitch, a little low, ball 2.
Yeah, Noah, this is the Montgomery Catholic team led by head coach Whitney Toole. They have missed the playoffs the last 3 seasons, but they are a member of Class 4A. Do play some challenging teams in the Montgomery area.
2-0 pitch, hard hit ball down the third base line, and what a catch over the shoulder for the final out of the inning. Chloe Walden, little Willie Mays action during the infield. 3 up, 3 down, go the Knights. Gators up to bat when we come back on the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood.
Georgia-Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to Zaxby's for their continued partnership with us for over the last couple of years since we started this. Your partnership has meant the world for us to give you premier coverage for all the local sporting events around the Chattahoochee Valley area. And specifically, I want to thank Judson Humphreys, my good friend, and the Phoenix City location, being with us from the very beginning, man.
Absolutely. Well, we just appreciate what y'all do in the community for these student athletes, and we just want to be a part of it.
Whether it's tailgating, parties, or you just want a quick bite to eat, come to the Phoenix City Zaxby's location and tell them Georgia Alabama Sports Live and Thrift sent you. Thank you again to Judson Humphreys and Zaxby's for our continued partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Welcome back to the Swamp for the Zaxby's game of the week at Glenwood. Opening day for softball here for the Gators, and they took care of the Knights in quick order. They're in the top of the first. 3 up, 3 down go the Knights. And leading it off for the Gators is going to be Katie Corbett, Caden Henderson, and Carrington Slocum, the 1, 2, 3 hitters for the Gators. We talked about Whitney Toole at the top half of the inning, Matt, and some Gator fans might be a little familiar. She was the head coach at Lakeside School down in Eufaula from 2017 to 2019, so maybe a little familiar. She's definitely played here.
And obviously, Gators, a longtime member of the ASA up until last season when they made the jump to the AHSAA.
And this will be the first of 2 times these teams will play this season. The return trip to Montgomery, April the 16th, later in the year for the Gators. But Katie Corbett will step in. Starting pitcher for the Knights, Gabby Eady, the only Knight who had a good chunk of pitching experience last season, misses the first one for a ball. Eady last year had 6 starts, had a 2-4 record, and an ERA of just over 6. Second pitch fouled off.
Yeah, no, you got to think for both of these teams here today. Maybe some pregame jitters, kick off the year. Good for both teams to kind of get these first couple of outs out of the way, kind of loosen them up a little bit. See if that has an impact here going forward.
The Gators going to play 3 games in 3 days starting today. Going to play in the Opelika tournament tomorrow and Saturday. A foul ball off the foot of Corbett, 1-2. The wind and the 1-2 from Eady. Low corner of the strike zone, called strike 3. Eady gets Corbett looking, 1 down. Now Caden Henderson will step in. .303 batting average last season. The tall lefty steps in and tries to slap hit but misses.
Yeah, Noah Henderson, the sophomore, one to watch for the Lady Gators today, was one of the top base stealers a year ago. So if she is able to get on base, she is definitely a threat to swipe multiple bags in this game.
0-1 pitch, outside for a ball. And no break for Henderson. Played in the Gators playoff loss last Friday for basketball, the season-ending loss to midfield. But she recovered nicely from the injury she suffered in the middle of the season for basketball and stepped right into softball. That one swung on a miss again on the slap hit, 1-2. Wind blowing in a little bit from the left field foul pole in toward the Montgomery Catholic dugout next to the first base line. 1-2. In the strike zone, call strike 3. Henderson goes now looking, quickly 2 down. Now Carrington Slocum, who's doing the catching duties tonight for the Gators, will step in. Batted .300 last year. Off-speed pitch in their first strike. One fouled out of play. Just like that, Slocum down 0-2, and the Knights coming back with their own chance to try to get a quick inning, 3 up, 3 down to begin the season. The 0-2 didn't go. Ball a little high, ball 1. Hard pitch to lay off there, the fastball high.
Definitely kind of a risky take there from Slocum.
1-2. Outside, ball 2. It's 2 good pitches there by Edie to try to get Slocum to chase. She just hasn't bit. 2-2. That one a little high again, and again, good patience by Slocum. She takes it for ball 3. She's fought her way back to a full count. The payoff pitch. Little low, she takes ball 4. Good at bat by Carrington Slocum, down 0-2 in the count. Takes 4 straight balls. And the first base runner of the game is Carrington Slocum for the Gators. We're going to have a courtesy runner come in. I believe that's Claire Hargrove out there to run for the Gators. Now Caroline Brazil, the cleanup hitter, will step into the right-hand side.
Yeah, Noah Hargrove, 3 stolen bases over 27 games a year ago for the Lady Gators. So also a threat to steal on the base pass.
First pitch to Brazil, a little inside. An absolutely perfect day for softball. Slight breeze, temperatures in the 70s. Feels like spring. It's not going to the next few days, though. Enjoy it while we got it. That one chopped off the foot of Brazil for strike 1. And speaking of quick turnarounds from basketball to softball, Claire Hargrove as well, a senior and leader on that Glenwood girls basketball team. From the hardwood to the diamond in just about a few days. High pop-up by first base, and underneath to make the grab for the final out for the Knights is Riley Wilcoxon. So the Gators get a runner aboard, can't do anything with it. We're scoreless after 1 here at the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood.
Georgia
Imagine
Alabama Sports
a
Live wants to say
life-changing
thank you to
injury.
Zaxby's for their
Imagine the
continued
fear
partnership
and
with us
unknown.
over the last couple of years
The
since we
Houston
started
Clinic
this.
Sports
Your partnership
Medicine
has been
Team,
the world for
the
us to
only
give you
physicians in
premier
the
coverage
area with
for
advanced
all the local
certification in
sporting events
orthopedic
around the
sports
Chattahoochee Valley
medicine.
area.
Treat
And specifically,
sports
I want to thank
injuries with
Judson Humphreys, my good friend, at the
innovative
Phoenix City
techniques.
location,
The
being with us from the
Houston
very
Clinic
beginning.
has helped nearly a
Well, we
million
just appreciate what y'all do in the
athletes
community
live
for these student
without
athletes,
pain.
and we just want to be a part of it.
Imagine
Whether it's
to get back in
tailgating,
the game.
parties, or you just
Imagine
want a quick bite
the
to eat,
best
come to
game
the
of your
Phoenix City
life.
Zaxby's
The Houston Clinic
location
Sports
and tell them Georgia Alabama Sports Live and Thrift sent you. Thank you again to Judson Humphreys and Zaxby's for our continued partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
And welcome back to the Zaxby's Game of the Week here at Glenwood. We're scoreless after 1. Knights here at bat at the top of the second. First inning went so quick I didn't have a chance to go over the defensive starters for the Gators. Infield from left to right from first to third. Brazil at first, Chapa at second, Monkis at short, and Walden at third as that first pitch lined towards short and through the gap for a base hit. It's Gabby Edie, the pitcher. helping her own cause there with the single. First hit of the ball game goes to the Knights, and he's aboard at first. To finish up the defensive lineup for the Gators, in the outfield from right to left, Ava Burns, Kaden Henderson in center, and Katie Corbett in left. Cameron Iverson now steps in for the Knights. First pitch fouled off. There's a good aggressive piece of hitting there by Edie to swing at the first pitch and hit it right through the gap between short and third. That pitch there taken for a strike by Iverson, 0-2. Low for a ball. Two middle infielders for the Gators playing pretty deep. And the 1-2. Low but snagged over at third and thrown over out at second is Edie. Good recovery there by Walden over at third. Ball almost rolled out of her glove on the hard hit ground ball. She collected it, threw out Edie at second. And so Iverson will reach first on a fielder's choice. One down runner at first.
Yeah, it was a nice play there by Walden at third. Ball kind of getting away from her a little bit, but had time to collect. Made a strong throw to second. It's a good overall play from what was a hard hit ball.
A bunt attempt there on the first pitch. One count against Hayden Fitz. Another bunt attempt. This one gets down. Morrell over the first for the out. The runner advances, but now two down. So two down. Iverson to second.
Yeah, no, kind of the first time we've seen a runner in scoring position in this game, so.
First pitch sliced down the right field line over to the corner and just foul before it went over the fence. Good slap at it on the first pitch by Riley Hudson. Behind the count now 0-1.
Yeah, no, the wind kind of blowing kind of at home plate. So maybe the wind knocked that ball down a little bit. It was hit pretty hard, but down the right field line opposite field.
It looked like Ava Burns, the right fielder, had a good beat on it, just couldn't quite catch up to it. 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike two. The 0-2 to Hudson, low in the dirt for a ball. Got away from Slocum for a second. Iverson thought about going, but retreats back to second base. The 0-2. The 1-2, now 2-2. And the bunt there with one out with a runner at first, trying to get him at the second with two outs, kind of tells me that maybe Montgomery Catholic thinks this might be a lower scoring game.
Absolutely. These two teams met last season. They were a bit of a higher scoring.
Hard hit ball towards center field. Kate Anderson's right there, and she makes a grab for out number 3. Hard hit ball by Hudson, but right at Kaden Henderson in center field, and she retires the side. One hit, one left, no score. Still no score. Was made the home half of the second between the Gators and the Knights on the Zaxby's game of the week at Glenwood. And welcome back to the Zaxby Game of the Week here at Glenwood. Scoreless here as we head to the home half of the second. Chapa, Morrell, and Dordowski due up for the Gators. First pitch to Chapa. A little excuse me swing down the third base line. Iverson with a good throw over the first, and one pitch and one out. Now Brooke Burrell will step in. Gators tonight still scoreless here in the home half of the second. Morrell takes the first one, just a little high for a ball. Morrell batted .250 last season. .20 for 80 at the plate, and she swings and misses at that one for strike one. One pitch, a little inside, taken for a strike, strike two. Edie gets the call, and Burrell behind 1-2. Ground ball towards short and through the wickets into left field for a base hit. Burrell's ground ball right through and under the glove of Hayden Fitz, and she's aboard. And courtesy runner again going to come in. This time it's Isabel Chastain for the Gators, number 20. Now Dordowski will step in. First pitch, slap towards right field, going to land in for a base hit. Dordowski to first, Chastain to second. 2 on for the Gators with 1 down.
Yeah, no, a nice piece of hitting there for the Lady Gators going to the opposite field. Runners at first and second now with 1 out. We'll see if Glenwood can come through right here. Strike first to start the season.
Now Chloe Walden, the third baseman, up to the plate. First one inside corner, called a strike. One pitch to Chloe. High fly ball to center field, tracking back and camping underneath it to make the grab. For the Knights is Haley Ishman. Good hit to center, wind knocked that one down a little bit, and now 2 down for the Gators. Now Lola Monkis will step in. Shortstop last year batted .273. Has a chance to give the Gators the lead here with 2 down. First pitch low for a ball. It's Chastain at second, Dordowski at first. One 0, a little low for a ball. That one in there for strike one. Two-one, hit down the third base line. Smart play over there at third defensively to tag the bag by Cameron Iverson, and that retires the side. Gators strand 2 on a couple hits. We head to the third, still scoreless, here at the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood. And welcome back here to the Swamp to Zaxby's Game of the Week. We're still scoreless after 2. To the top of the third we go, and Jaden Simmons, the 8-hole hitter, and Anna Hill, the 9-hole hitter, the first two due up for the Knights. Again, Noah Shelton, Matt Melton here with you on opening day here from the Swamp for Glenwood softball. First pitch to Simmons, swing and a miss on the inside off speed. And Morrell has been really in a groove so far in these first couple of innings.
Yeah, absolutely, Noah. Both of these pitchers kind of, let's see a pop up there. Both these pitchers kind of commanding the zone here early, getting ahead early in the count. Both of them getting fly balls as well.
And speaking of getting ahead early in the count, quickly 0-2 to Simmons.
Especially on a day like this with the ball blowing in, if you're a hitter, you want to keep the ball low.
Yeah, the wind is really blowing in right now from our backs. That one on the outside corner, no call, 1-2. One-two, slap toward third, just foul.
I know we mentioned earlier kind of these teams met three times last season. This one looks like it could be a little bit lower scoring than those other contests. I mean, Glenwood won 2 out of 3 a year ago, obviously at Montgomery Catholic, and then at the neutral site. Montgomery Catholic actually won here at Glenwood.
Swing and a miss on the high off speed for strike 3. First strikeout of 2026 for Morrell. And that'll bring up Anna Hill hitting at the bottom of the order. Hill 188 average last season. First pitch taken for a strike.
Perfect there from Morrell, right down the middle. And if you're a hitter, that's one you might regret taking later in the at-bat.
Yeah, and the one hit that the Knights have was on the first pitch there by their pitcher, Edie. So maybe if you're the Knights, be a little more aggressive there, swinging on the first pitch. As Hill swings at the second and fouls it off to the Glenwood dugout. Quickly 0-2. It's been a theme so far tonight for Morrell, being ahead in the count basically every hitter. Her first time here through the order. High pop-up down the third base line, just in play in foul territory, and caught over there in front of the net. Good play defensively by Chloe Walden for out number 2.
Yeah, Walden had that web gem kind of back in the first or the second inning
Yeah.
off the deflection. That was not an easy play over there by that wall down the third base line. So 2 really good defensive plays there for Walden.
Back to the top of the order for Wiley Wilcoxon, who hit that line drive that ricocheted off of Morrell and was caught by Chappa behind her. High fly ball deep toward us. Back to the track, to the wall, but just in front of us is Caden Henderson to retire it for out number 3. And the wind would not have been blowing this strong from behind us. That may have been right in our lap and right into your living room. 3 up, 3 down go the Knights. We head to the home half of the third. Still scoreless here at the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to Zaxby's for their continued partnership with us for over the last couple years since we started this. Your partnership has meant the world for us to give you premier coverage for all the local sporting events around the Chattahoochee Valley area. And specifically, I want to thank Judson Humphreys, my good friend, and the Phoenix City location, being with us from the very beginning, man.
Absolutely. Well, we just appreciate what y'all do in the community for these student athletes, and we just want to be a part of it.
Whether it's tailgating, parties, or you just want a quick bite to eat, come to the Phoenix City Zaxby's location and tell them Georgia Alabama Sports Live and Thrift sent you. Thank you again to Judson Humphreys and Zaxby's for our continued partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
And welcome back here at the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood. Noah Shelton, Matt Melton here with you for opening day for Glenwood softball here in 2026. Gators tonight still scoreless as we head to the home half of the third. Back to the top of the order to Katie Corbett, who struck out looking to begin the ball game offensively for the Gators. Still Gabby Eady on the mound for the Knights. First pitch, all speed, low and inside, ball one.
Yeah, Noah Corbett, only a sophomore, didn't have that big of a role with this Lady Gators team a year ago, but definitely a player. As we see, had the leadoff spot here today for head coach Josh McConnell. Definitely a potential candidate to have, maybe you say, a breakout season for this Lady Gators team.
Second pitch by Eady, fouled off by Corbett down the third base line. And another one of those Gators who played basketball as well, who just finished their season last Friday. Again, straight from the hardwood to the diamond for a few of these Lady Gators here on the softball team. 1-1 pitch. Off the inside of the bat, a looper towards shallow right, and coming up to make the grab for the Knights is Anna Hill for out number one. Good play there by Anna Hill. She got a good beat on and off the bat and ran about 40, 50 feet or so to come up and make that grab in shallow right field.
Yeah, that was not an easy play by the right fielder for Montgomery Catholic. Ball was kind of in what you would call no man's land, right behind the second baseman, but a little too far behind her head for her to get it. So it's a really nice play by the right fielder.
Now Kaden Henderson will step in, also struck out looking back in the first. First pitch, slapped behind the plate, back into the net for strike one. We'd like to remind you, we're also brought to you by Coca-Cola, Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC in Opelika, and the Houston Clinic. Thank you to our presenting sponsors on Georgia Alabama Sports Live for your support. Wind still blowing in. And that pitch taken by Henderson for strike two. We've seen Eady get Henderson a couple times with that off speed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she does here. Ahead 0-2 in the count. Henderson, a very fast player. So with a slap hit, potentially, no play is easy to get her out at first base.
And when you're stepping up to the ball when the pitch is that slow, it's kind of hard to stay back and stay patient with it. She takes that one for a ball. You still have to be in the batter's box when you hit the ball for it to count. One, two to Henderson. High fly ball, deep left field, going to be just foul off the glove. I think it was foul. Let's see. The umpire's going to call it foul, just off the glove of Jaden Simmons out there in left field. So Henderson will trot back to the plate and try it again.
It was just outside of the foul line, I believe. Not too much distance in between that wall over there and the left field foul line.
Yeah, maybe about 10 feet or so between the left field wall and the foul line on the right side, about double that. 1-2. High for ball 2. 2-2, low in the dirt for ball 3. And neither of these teams really relied too much on the home run ball for their runs last year. The Knights only with 10 total homers last year, the Gators with 5. So with this wind blowing in, they both know how to play some small ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Henderson, she draws a walk there.
Great at bat there by Henderson to draw ball 4. And the speedster slap hitter's aboard. Now Slocum, who reached in the first off of a walk, was down 0-2 in the count and then took 4 straight balls.
Yeah, one note on Slocum, was one of the top leaders on this team a year ago in terms of doubles. So if Slocum can put one in the gap here, not only could she get her first double of the season, but with the speed of Henderson at first, Glenwood could find themselves up 1-0.
Henderson goes. First pitch popped up toward the third base line and just out of play. 0-1 against Slocum. Henderson was going on that pitch. Henderson had 8 stolen bases last season. She goes again. Pitch a little high. Throw down the second off the mark high into center field. So Henderson steals second. And Slocum now with a 1-1 even count.
So number 1 for Henderson on opening day for the Lady Gators. Something tells me she might be set to pass that total from last year.
Absolutely.
Already on her way.
So 1 down, runner now in scoring position for the Gators. 1-1 pitch. Off speed, a little high, ball 2. Good take there by Slocum. That one wrote down the left field line, but Hooks foul out of play. Slocum got all of that one, but it's 2-2.
Yeah, and part of the reason that might have went so far, the wind kind of died down here during Slocum's at bat. So if the sophomore can get a hold of one here, you never know.
Two-two pitch. Popped up towards shallow center over the left side. Now in the infield for shortstop. And the catch made there by Hayden Fitz for out number 2. So 2 down now for the Gators. Henderson still at second. And Caroline Brazil will step in. Popped out to first base back in the first inning. First pitch, off speed. Look at the movement on that ball. Thought it was going to hit Brazil for a second. Hooked right back in the zone for strike 1. Great pitch there by Gabby Edie. That pitch a little low. Evens up the count at 1-1.
Look, for a minute there, Henderson potentially trying to steal third. Almost got caught in no man's land about halfway between the bags, but scurried back to second.
Yeah, took a little bit of a longer lead there than the catcher for the Knights, Peyton Dees, liked, and almost threw it down the second. Hard hit ball down the third base line. Going to be in for a base hit. Henderson rounds third. She'll head home. She'll score. And the Gators, with their first run of 2026, now lead it 1-0. Good piece of hitting there by Brazil. First RBI of 2026 goes to Caroline Brazil. Caroline Chapel will step in. First pitch a little low and outside. One 0 pitch, high and outside, ball 2. And how hard was that ball hit there by Brazil?
Absolutely. Left fielder came up throwing, but with the speed of Henderson coming from second, she was already halfway to home plate on that third base line. Do not think there was any chance they were going to throw her out.
Speed kills. That one right up the middle off the glove of Edie. Everybody's going to be safe. Did she beat him at first? She did. Chappa just beats the throw over the first off the deflection of the glove by Edie. And so the Gators going to have 2 on, 2 down. And now Brooke Morrell will step in. Had the first hit of the season for the Gators back in the second inning. And was forced out at third to end the second inning.
Yeah, Morrell's kind of in a situation here. Can you help yourself? Had a great game so far in the circle for the Lady Gators. Now with a chance here to kind of add to the lead for Glenwood.
First pitch taken for a strike. One chopped off the foot of Morrell. 0-2. Hard hit ball and caught at second base. What a play by Riley Hudson to end the inning and end the threat for the Gators. So the Gators leave 2-1, but do score and take the lead. 1-0 the Gators lead as we head to the fourth here in the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood. And welcome back to the Zaxby's Game of the Week here at Glenwood. Noah Shelton, Matt Melton back here with you from the Swamp. We head to the fourth. The Gators broke the scoreless tie off the RBI single by Caroline Chappa. Ken Henderson scores the first run of the season for the Gators, and they lead at 1-0 as we head to the fourth. Morrell still on the mound for the Gators. First pitch a little low. Haley Ishman, Peyton Dees, and Gabby Edie due up, the 2-3-4 hitters. 1-0 pitch, a little low for ball 2. 2-0, fouled off out of play on the third base line, and the first strike there against Ishman.
It definitely feels like the wind's kind of kicking up again. Kind of a real story in this contest. Like we said earlier, kind of keep the ball low. Don't hit it in the air.
That's exactly what the Gators did last inning. If it wasn't for a great defensive play by Riley Hudson at second, it could have led to more. 2-1 pitch, a little inside, ball 3. It was a good first trip through the order for Morrell. Only allowed 1 hit and 2 base runners total. But only had 1 strikeout, so the Knights put a few balls in play. But again, we've seen a few really good defensive plays by the Gators so far. That one roped toward left, down for a base hit. Going to roll to the walls. Going to be extra bases for Ishman. She'll head to second, and we'll head into second standing up. And so the first extra base hit of the season for the Knights goes to Haley Ishman. A stand-up double to lead off the 4th. And as hard as that RBI single was by Caroline Brazil last inning, that one definitely hit harder there by Ishman.
Oh, definitely. Getting down into the corner, too. Setting the Lady Knights up here to potentially get their first run of the season.
So the first bit of stress against Morrell tonight and in 2026 now. Runner scoring position with nobody down. Now Peyton D steps in. Lined out the third. It was a great catch there by Walden down the line to end the inning back in the first. And Dees quickly finds herself an 0-2 hole. Oh, 2 taking a little high for ball 1. Two, 1 rope down the third base line, just foul.
Yeah, no, it seems like both of these teams kind of living down that third base line. Seen a couple hard shots into left field. Kind of seems like if the ball is kept low on the ground, it's going toward that left side of the field.
You mentioned Montgomery Catholic in 4A Area 5, play a few schools in the Montgomery area. Prattville Christian Academy just outside of Montgomery, as well as Booker T. Washington from Tuskegee. And that one again fouled on the third base line. These two teams that you mentioned, Matt, just living down that third base line at the plate.
Yeah, Morrell ahead in the count here, 1-2. Kind of these last couple of pitches, tried to go inside, try to get these batters swing and miss. They are making contact to stay alive, but Morrell testing the zone once again.
Knights also play Lamp High School and Tallahassee High School in area play. That pitch fouled out of play over the press box behind home plate. Still 2 strikes against Dees. And Ishman stands at second. Nobody out for the Knights here in the top of the 4th. That pitch just a tad inside, taken for a ball. Great eye from Dees there.
Yeah, that is a rough pitch to take there because that was borderline from Morrell. Really nice pitch from number 16 in black there.
Two strikes to Dees. High pop up, back to Morrell at the pitcher's mound, and she takes it and catches it for out number 1. That one caught just in front of the circle there by Morrell.
Big first out there for the Lady Gators. After the leadoff double, get the first out. We'll see what happens here, but it's a good thing that Glenwood's keeping that runner at second for now.
Now the cleanup hitter, Edie, the pitcher, up to the plate, takes the first one for a strike. Has the only hit so far tonight for the Knights with a single back in the second. Oh, 1 low in the dirt for a ball.
It's kind of the first one we've seen similar to that from Morrell tonight. Down low in the zone. Morrell's command has actually been very, very good here to start through these first couple of innings. That one got away from her a bit, however.
That one a little low for ball 2. Her control from Morrell doubly impressive considering they haven't played since last April. So it's been a long break This is the last softball game, but she's come out sharp and it's basically looked like she's been in mid-season form here in game number 1.
Yeah, and as you mentioned at the start, top arm for the Lady Gators last season in the circle.
That one fouled out of play behind home plate. 2 strikes against Edie. And Morrill methodically working her way out of this jam with Ishman with the leadoff double with nobody out. Morrill one good pitch away from putting 2 down consecutively.
Yeah, the now senior finished last season with an ERA just above 4. 2-0 record with 66 strikeouts over 28 games played.
That pitch gets by Brazil, and over to the third goes Ishman on the pass ball. Sure, that Carrington Slocum behind the plate. So the first really missed pitch there by Morrill. That one roped down the third base line, going to get through the gap for a base hit, and we're tied up at 1 apiece. First RBI of the season goes to Gabby Edie for the Knights, and Haley Ishman scores the first run. So now 1 down, runner at first, tied up at 1. And Cameron Iverson will step in for her second plate appearance. Reach on a fielder's choice back in the second. Shows bunt, gets it down to Morrill. Morrill's going to throw it over the first, get the first runner out. Get the runner at first out is Iverson. So the second sacrifice bunt laid down by the Knights tonight. Edie the second, but now 2 down.
Nice job getting the bunt down there from Iverson. Montgomery Catholic now with a runner in scoring position. 2 outs, though. If you're Morrill, you've got to focus on this batter at the plate, however, not worry about the runner at second base.
And that's the second time we've seen the Knights bunts with 1 down and a runner at first. First pitch fouled out of play by Fitz.
Yeah, Montgomery Catholic definitely going small ball at times here tonight. It has worked, though. If you're a good bunting team and you can get the bunt down, it works to perfection at times.
Oh, 1 pitch to Fitz, a little high for a ball. Again, the Gators will play in the weather permitting the Opelika tournament tomorrow and Saturday. Also got Glenwood baseball tomorrow and Saturday as well, again, weather permitting. That one off the bat, a foul tip for Fitz, now in a 1-2 hole.
Yeah, we mentioned the Gators baseball team. Obviously, will be their first game since winning the 3A state championship a year ago. We'll have that here right for you here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Showdown with Columbus.
Should be an awesome scene tomorrow afternoon. That pitch fouled out of play again down the left field line. Feels like for about every 1 hit down the right field line, we've had about 12 to 15 down the left field line.
Yeah, we had the one right field line landed right in front of the wall over there about the first or second inning. The rest of them since have been kind of over there toward the gym.
Two strikes. Taken for strike 3. Morrill paints the outside corner and retires the side. But the Knights tie it up, 1 left, 1 run scored, and we head to the home half of the 4th, tied up at 1 on the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood. Welcome back to the Zaxby's Game of the Week here at Glenwood. Noah Shelton, Matt Melton back with you here from the Swamp. Behind the right field wall here next to the scoreboard, Gators and Knights tied up at 1 here in the first of 2 meetings between these two teams this season. Played thrice last season. So these two teams very familiar with each other in Glenwood's young existence here in the AHSAA.
Yeah, absolutely. This meeting, however, playing out the exact opposite of those meetings last season.
Sure. Been a pitcher's duel so far between Edie and Morrell. Derdowski, the first up for the Gators, takes the first for a ball. I'd like to remind you, this is the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood. At Zaxby's, you can get the best thing on the menu, the Kickin' Chicken Sandwich. But you don't have to get Ton Torch. You can get hot honey mustard, Atomic if you're feeling spicy, or the Buffalo Garlic Blaze, my personal choice. Matt, what's yours?
I'm more of a chicken finger plate kind of guy.
There you go.
New lemon pepper they got at
Oh,
Zaxby's.
there you go. Now we're talking.
Think I know where I'm going for dinner, too.
For sure. Second pitch by Derdowski fouled off into the net, so 1-1. Good eye by Derdowski, ball 2. A little outside on that pitch. A little high for ball 3. And the Gators begin area play against Dadeville on March the 5th. Pretty long gap between the first and the second. They then play Beulah in their second one on March the 17th. Of course, you play everybody in your area twice as Derdowski takes that one for ball 4 inside. So the leadoff runner aboard for the Gators.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Noah, but this is the first time that we've seen a leadoff walk to start an inning here tonight for either team.
That is correct. We have seen a couple walks tonight, or at least one, but that's the first leadoff one. And another courtesy runner going to come in. It looks like that's Ava Burns there for the Gators, going to run for Derdowski.
Yeah, Burns also, we mentioned Caden Henderson earlier, one of the top base stealers returning from a year ago. Burns is exactly that, too. She had 9 stolen bases a year ago for the Lady Gators, so definitely a threat to steal second here.
Now Chloe Walden will step in. Had that fly out to center field back in the second. She's going to show bunt. Pitch rolls to the plate. Runner goes, and sliding in safely with the stolen base is Ava Burns.
So right on cue, Burns, her first stolen base of the season.
Already 2 for the Gators here in game number 1. That pitch a little outside for a ball against Walden. 2-0 count. And the Gators now in the same position that the Knights just were in, with a runner at second and nobody out. Bunt gets down by Walden. Now the third baseline beautifully put down. Walden really beat the throw out to first. But she does her job and advances Burns over to the third. And the Gators have a runner just 60 feet from the plate with 1 down.
Nice job there for the Lady Gators. Getting the bunt down, moving Burns over to third. And as you said, runner only 60 feet away now, and what would give Glenwood the lead once again.
Now the bottom of the lineup, Lola Monkiss will step in. 0 for 1 tonight with a ground out. Shows bunt, gets it down. Down is going to be a squeeze bunt coming home and getting around the tag. She did not. Ava Burns gets tagged out, and Lola Monkiss dives back into first base as she rounded first. So the squeeze attempt by the Gators unsuccessful, and now 2 down with a runner at first. Didn't quite get that bunt far enough out there to give Burns enough time to get home.
Yeah, it looked like Burns might have gotten a little bit of a late start down that third base line too, but again, the bunt kind of right there in front of the catcher where she could just grab it and tag. Like the idea, but
hard hit ball by Corbett, deep left center field, gonna go to the wall, extra bases. Monkiss rounds third, she'll at home, she'll score. Rounding second and going to third, and just in time, she's safe at third is Corbett, and the Gators now lead 2-1 off the triple by Katie Corbett. The hardest hit ball so far tonight by either team, and it gives the Gators the lead here in the fourth.
And as we've mentioned numerous times here tonight, Noah, with the wind, keep the ball low and out of the air. That was a perfect line drive, splitting the left center field gap. 1-2 hop off the wall, and the Lady Gators once again have the lead here.
Henderson takes the first pitch a little outside for a ball. Henderson reached and scored back in the third off a walk. And if you're going to walk ahead in this Gators lineup, Caden Henderson might be just about the last one you like to do that to.
Absolutely. We mentioned it earlier. One of the top returning stolen base leaders from this Lady Gators team a year ago.
And she's already ahead in the count 2-0. Pitch, slap hit, slicing foul out of play. Now Gabby Eady taking her time. Corbett at third, the Gators with a chance to extend the lead. Henderson takes that one for ball 3. Two down, 3-1 to Henderson with Corbett over at third, and now Coach Toole's going to take a second and have a little bit of a powwow here with the catcher and the pitcher Edie. Going to send them together now, talk the home plate umpire. Don't think this is about a substitution or anything, just giving Edie a little bit of a breather, let her compose herself.
Absolutely. Down 3-1 here in the count. A very dangerous hitter in Henderson at the plate. Kind of probably just a meeting at the mound just to talk things over, slow things down. You've given up the lead here in this inning. You don't want to make the damage any worse.
So the meeting breaks up for the Knights, and it's going to be Edie down to Henderson, 3-1 the count. And again, Corbett just 60 feet from home to double the Gators' lead to 2. 3-1. Outside corner, call it a strike. And now Henderson with a full count. The payoff pitch, slapped down the third base line, out of play and foul.
You got to think Henderson's been kind of living down that left field line here so far. As deep as the left fielder is playing, maybe you try to see if you can drop one over the head of the third baseman, would get that run in.
And the 3-2 pitch again. Down the third base line, going to drop in fair, and that will score Corbett. Caden Henderson with an RBI single, and the Gators lead 3-1.
It's really nice at bat there from Henderson. Fouling off multiple pitches, getting ahead in the count early. And then when a 3-2 count when it mattered most, poking a hit down that left field line. It's 3-1 Lady Gators.
How about all these runs, too? Both these runs with 2 outs here for the Gators. A triple and a single back-to-back by Corbett and Henderson. And 2 runs batted in. The Gators lead by 2. Henderson goes and going to get down to second without a throw. Second stolen base of the game for Henderson. Pitch was called a strike. Just went right off the glove of Peyton Dees for the Knights. 3 stolen bags already for the Gators here in game number 1. High pop up in the left field line, hooks out of play. That one popped up behind home plate and just out of play. 0-2 against Slocum. Pitch, lap toward third base, going to get in for a base hit. Henderson rounds third. She's already halfway home, and she'll score. Gators with 3 runs here in the fourth. They lead it 4-1.
Yeah, Noah, kind of a similar situation to earlier. Henderson scoring from second on a ground ball, essentially through the gap into left field. Not a chance they were throwing her out, almost kind of halfway to home from third base when the left fielder got the ball.
Unbelievable speed there by Henderson, and she scores for the second time tonight. And now Caroline Brazil will step in. 1 for 2 with a single and a pop out. First one shot back to Edie. She collects it, throws over the first for out number 3. But the Gators do all their damage with 2 outs, 3 runs with 2 down in the 4th inning, and they lead it 4-1 as we head to the 5th here on the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
And welcome back here to the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood. Noah Shelton, Matt Milton here with you. We head to the 5th. The Gators leading 4-1, and a new pitcher on the mound now for the Gators. Brooke Morrell will finish her night with 4 complete innings, allowing 1 run. And Lola Monkus will take her spot on the pitcher's mound in the circle. And so her and Morrell will switch positions. Morrell now playing at short. And Raleigh Hudson and the bottom 3 due up for the Knights. First pitch to Hudson, taking for a strike.
Yeah, Monk is kind of the number 3 option, you would say, for the Lady Gators in the circle last season behind Morrell and Caroline Chapa.
One swing and a miss, strike 2.
Another note, Monk is also the youngest member of this Lady Gator team and only an 8th grader.
Fouled off. Again, an absolutely beautiful night for softball. Slight breeze still coming in from center field towards home plate. That one slapped towards second. Collected a throw to the first by Chappa, and one down here in the top of the fifth.
So a really nice job there from Munkus. Kind of getting settled, getting the ground ball for your first out of the season. We'll see if she can build off that here going forward.
Jaden Simmons now will step in, struck out swinging back in the third. First pitch off speed, a little inside. Simmons takes that one for a strike. Working quickly, Munkus misses that one a little low. That pitch high, ball three, take it back, ball three. So Morrell ends up with 4 innings pitched, allowing 3 hits and 1 run, as Munkus walks Jaden Simmons. And that'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Anna Hill. First pitch to Hill, shows bunt, gets it down beautifully. Throw over the first in time by Munkus. But that one came off the bat just dead and just rolled about 2 or 3 feet down the first base line. So for the third time tonight, the Knights bunt over a runner from first to second with 1 down. So now a runner at second with 2 down. Back to the top of the order for Montgomery Catholic.
Also, if you're Glenwood head coach Josh McConnell, it's got to give you some help defensively that your starting shortstop is now in the circle for the Lady Gators. So a really good fielder in her own right. Munka's doing a nice job of getting that ball and throwing him for the second out of the inning.
It's a really awkward throw when there's a bunt right down the first base line. You got to throw it around the runner running to first. Good play is that pitch a little high and tight for a ball against Wilcoxon. It was a good play by Munkus to keep her composure and throw it right around the runner for out number 2. That pitch outside corner called a strike. That pitch in the dirt for a ball. Wilcoxon 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out to center field. Had that fly out back in the third that almost went into your living room and our laps here behind the right field wall. That one chopped up the middle, going to get him for a base hit. Runner going to go home. Simmons to home. Henderson, the throw cut off. Throw home, not in time. And so the Knights cut the lead for the Gators down to 2, now trailing 4-2 here in the 5th.
Yeah, the throw was definitely on target from Henderson. Kind of wondered if it shouldn't have been cut off by the first baseman. Might have had a potential play at the plate, but again, Knights putting the ball in play up the middle, and now a 4-2 deficit here.
And they've been putting the ball in play all night. Still only 2 strikeouts so far at the plate for the Knights. Haley Ishman will step in. First pitch low and inside. Ball gets away from the catcher. Slocum throw down the second to get Hill. Not quite in time. So Anna Hill will take second base. Stretch that Riley Wilcoxon will take second base. Chopper back behind the plate for a strike. pitch. Little high and inside for ball 2.
Nice location there from Munkus. Just a tad bit high. Now falls behind in the count 2-1.
2-1 pitch low, ball 3. Runner at second, 3-1 pitch. Low in the dirt for ball 4. And Ishman is aboard. So 2 on and 2 down now with the Gators with a 2-run lead. Knights with a chance to tie it up with an extra base hit, perhaps to the gap, or even take the lead with a long ball. Now the Gators going to have a meeting on the mound and get Monkus reset as she faces Peyton Dees at the plate. Peyton 0 for 2 with a pop out back to the pitcher and a line out to third base. First pitch taken for a strike. The 6th batter of the inning for the Knights, the most they've sent to the plate so far this season and this game tonight. That one jams Dees as she pops it out of play, foul, 0-2.
Nice job there by Munkus, kind of getting ahead in the count. See what kind of pitch they throw here. Probably don't want to leave one across the plate with these runners in scoring position, but big pitch up coming here from Munkus.
Yeah, 0-2, you can afford a couple pitches to try to get her to chase. Setting up outside of Slocum, the pitch is outside, but it's taken by Dees for ball 1. One, two, in the dirt again, ball 2. Marcus trying to get out of the jam. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So the Knights cut into the lead with 1 run of their own here in the top half of the 5th. They still trail 4-2 to the Gators as we head to the home half of the 5th here on the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood. And welcome back to the Zaxby's Game of the Week here at Glenwood. Noah Shelton, Matt Milton back with you. Gators leading it 4-2 as we head to the home half of the 5th. Caroline Chappa, Brooke Morrell, and Bethany Drodowski due up for the Gators. Chappa 1 for 2 with a ground out and a single. Still Gabby Eady on the mound for the Knights. Is so far gone through 4 innings allowing 4 runs. First pitch by Edie, taken for a strike by Chapa. That pitch a little low, 1-1. Edie's pitch on the 1-1, taken for a ball. And the Gators hitters have been pretty patient at the plate tonight. Both teams really have. The Knights, again, we talked about earlier in the game, Matt, not really keen on swinging at the first pitch. Really either one of these teams so far.
Yeah, we saw it in that last inning by Montgomery Catholic, but for kind of Glenwood the whole night, just a focus of going up there, kind of taking the first pitch, getting ahead in the count.
And Chapa doing just that, ahead 3-1. Hits that one down the right field line and out of play. There's one ball down the right field line for you, Matt. Haven't seen many of those tonight.
I think that's probably the first one since the first inning. And that one, we see it rolling down off the top of the lower school gym here at Glenwood.
Another one fouled out of play. And that ball has officially found the gutter on top of the auditorium. Softball, not bowling. Now full count against Chapa. And the 3-2. This one hit hard to right field, back to the track. Hill can't make the grab, it's to the wall. Chapa gonna stand up at second with a stand-up double, and a leadoff double for the Gators here in the home half of the 5th. Looked like Hill might have had a play on the ball, kind of misread it. Maybe thought the wind was blowing in more than it was, because the wind has kind of really died down these last inning or two. Went just over her head, landed just in front of the wall about 2 or 3 feet or so. But a good leadoff double for Chapa and the Gators, and a chance for them to again extend the lead. Brooke Morrell stepping in. 1 for 2 with a single and a line out. Showing bunt down the third base line, rolls foul.
So we've seen Montgomery Catholic do that a bunch of times tonight. Kind of Glenwood now wanting to get a bunt down. Already got a runner in scoring position following that leadoff double from Chapa.
There's a big difference in bunting to get a runner from first to second and from second to third. You run a bigger risk from first to second. Obviously, easier chance for double play or the lead runner being thrown out with it being a force. You've seen Montgomery Catholic now 3 times tonight bunt with 1 out with a runner at first. Really trying to play the small ball game. And with the wind blowing in as it has for most of the night, I can understand the strategy. Bunt attempt there, pulled back by Morrell, caught a ball.
And Chapa at second definitely has the attention of this Montgomery Catholic defense. Catcher coming out of her stance back-to-back times there. Chapa kind of getting a big lead down that line.
That pitch outside on Morrell. Makes it 3-1. Morrell squirting up the bat. Pulls it back. Takes that pitch in the zone for a strike. Chapa at second, and the pitch to Morrell. Popped up back to the catcher, and the wind blowing it out of play.
Yeah, if you're the Lady Gators, I think the wind was your best friend right there. Might have been a pop-up to the catcher, but that wind blowing straight in toward home plate here at Glenwood. Landed right on top of the press box up there.
3-2. Chop toward third. Through the gap for a base hit. And staying at third is Chapa. Didn't get a good beat on it off the bat. Again, had to stay patient there in case it was fielded. But now runners at the corners for the Gators and nobody out.
Yeah, still a really good situation here if you're the Lady Gators. That's probably about the third or fourth time we've seen a hard hit ground ball in between the shortstop and the third baseman tonight. That left fielders had to come up and make a play.
So now Derdowski, who was reached both times she's hit tonight, a single back in the second and a walk back in the fourth. She was thrown out at home on that squeeze bunt attempt. Runner goes. Quick throw down second. Now throw back to third. They got her. They did. What a fake by the catcher for Montgomery Catholic. Peyton Deese. The fake down the second. The throw back down the third. And that'll get Caroline Chapa out at third base.
Really nice play there from the Lady Knights defensively, but again, you're still not out of the woods yet, as they would say, because Morrell did advance to second, so a runner still in scoring position for Glenwood.
And still only one out. Derdowski, chopper to short. Throw over the first going to be in time. I'm going to throw back to third to try to get Morrell not in time, so the runner will advance. Now the Gators the runner at third and 2 down. For Chloe Walden. Had a fly out to center and a sacrifice bunt back in the fourth. Gators up 4-2. Runner 60 feet away to make it 5-2. If Walden can get it out of the infield. First pitch to her, outside corner, called a strike. When the Gators have had opportunities so far tonight to get insurance runs, they have converted. That one roped down the left field line, lands fair for a base hit, and there's another one. Chloe Walden with an RBI single. Brooke Morrell scores, and the Gators lead it 5-2. Now to the bottom of the order for Lola Munkus. 2 fielders' choices. She reached on one of them and scored back in the fourth.
So a really big insurance run there for the Lady Gators.
First pitch, swung on and lined toward left field, hooks out of play off the top of the wall. And there we are back again to the left field line, Matt.
Absolutely.
Seen that a lot tonight.
I think that's the first one we've had land on top of the wall over there, though.
0-1 pitch. Runner thought about going. Walden took a long few strides off of first base, quickly retreated. And Munkus takes it for a ball to even up the count at 1-1. That pitch high and away and gets behind the catcher. So Walden down to second on the pass ball.
Again, dangerous territory here if you are Montgomery Catholic. Runner now in scoring position once again for Munkus. Munkus, kind of mentioned it with Morrell earlier, a chance to help herself here.
Munkus, another pitch high and outside by Edie. Gabby Edie still on the mound for the Knights. Now allowed 5 runs in 4 2/3 innings of work. Munkus, a pop-up toward third base, and camping underneath to make the grab for the Knights was Cameron Iverson, and that will tire the side. We head to the 6th, Gators up 5-2 on the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to Zaxby's for their continued partnership with us for over the last couple of years since we started this. Your partnership has meant the world for us to give you premier coverage for all the local sporting events around the Chattahoochee Valley area. And specifically, I want to thank Judson Humphreys, my good friend, and the Phoenix City location. being with us from the very beginning, man.
Absolutely. Well, we just appreciate what y'all do in the community for these student athletes, and we just want to be a part of it.
Whether it's tailgating, parties, or you just want a quick bite to eat, come to the Phoenix City Zaxby's location and tell them Georgia Alabama Sports Live and Thrift sent you. Thank you again to Judson Humphreys and Zaxby's for our continued partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
And welcome back to the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood. Noah Shelton, Matt Melton here with you from the Swamp. Gators leading it 5-2. As we head to the sixth, again, a new pitcher going to come in for the Gators. Caroline Chappa going to take the mound, so Morrell will stay at short, and Lola Monkis will move out to right field, so Ava Burns will head to the dugout and take a seat for this half inning defensively.
Yeah, no, we mentioned Morrell got the start tonight, was the top option for the Lady Gators in the circle last season. We saw an inning from Monkis, who was the number 3 option, and now we get the number 2 with Caroline Chappa. Across 53 innings pitched a year ago, an ERA over 6, 33 strikeouts to 36 walks.
The cleanup hitter, first due up for the Knights, Gabby Eady, the pitcher tonight, takes the first pitch for a ball. 2 singles so far tonight for Eady. Has also allowed 5 runs through 5 innings of work in the circle. That one chopped towards second. Hargrove in at second base, flips it over to first in time for out number 1.
It's kind of an example there. When you enter the game, the ball will immediately find you. Hargrove just in for the Lady Gators.
Absolutely.
Ball hit right to her.
You better be ready.
Absolutely.
Seen a lot of hard-hit ground balls and line drives tonight. First pitch, a little high for a ball as Cameron Iverson steps in. Reached on a fielder's choice in the second and laid down a sacrifice bunt back in the 4th. That pitch in there for a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, we kind of mentioned coming into tonight if there would be any sort of rust for these two teams. First game of the Alabama high school softball season here tonight, but these two teams come out, they look ready to play, ready to get this season going.
Yeah, this game feels like it's right out of smack dab in the middle or late March. But here we are in the middle of February, and both teams playing like they've been playing for a couple weeks now, as Chappa gets that one by Iverson for strike number 2.
Yeah, the weather definitely kind of backing up that fact, too.
Yeah. 1-2, low for a ball. And the next time the Gators are at home is going to be next Tuesday here against Valley. 2-2, hit towards shallow right center. Hargrove back, camps underneath it, and makes a good grab right on the grass behind the dirt in the second base hole, and quickly 2 down.
So Hargrove recently in the game for the Lady Gators. 2 really good defensive plays back-to-back there.
Now Hayden Fitz will step in, a sacrifice bunt in the second, and a strikeout looking in the 4th. First pitch by Chappa, a little high for a ball. High for a ball. And just like that, a 3-0 count against Fitz. To Fitz, that one in there for a strike. Montgomery Catholic's first home game is going to be against Alabama Christian. That game's going to be next Tuesday. Glenwood fans familiar with Alabama Christian from the football playoffs a couple years ago. Again, the return trip for the Gators to Montgomery going to be on April the 16th as that one's fouled off for strike 2. The Knights also play Smith Station in late April. Pitched a little high.
Yeah, the Lady Knights obviously playing in the Montgomery area. A lot of very good, talented softball teams in the Montgomery area, so they're going to be another good one this year.
Swing and a miss for a strike there by Hudson. One, two. Pop up back to the pitcher, Chapa. She camps underneath it and retires to side. So the Knights leave one on base and no runs scored. We head to the home half of the 6th. Gators looking for some insurance. Up 5-2 here on the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood. And welcome back to the Zaxby's Game of the Week here at Glenwood. Noah Shelton, Matt Melton back here with you from the Swamp as the Gators lead at 5-2 as we head to the home half of the 6th. And do it for the Gators. Going to be the top of the order back to Katie Corbett, Katie Henderson, and Carrington Slocum. Corbett and Henderson definitely two candidates for that Alex Quinney All-Agency Player of the Game. That announcement going to be coming up right after we're finished here from the Swamp. It's going to be Gabby Eady still on the mound for the Knights. I'd like to thank Alex Quinney for all his support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. First pitch to Corbett. Line to center field, going back toward us. It's off the wall. Corbett with her second hit off the wall. Down to second, she'll stand in safely. And a leadoff double for Katie Corbett. And that one was smoked.
Yeah, that one we got out here earlier was a bit high in the air. Landed about a foot in front of us. That one about 5 yards to our right, straight off the fence.
The second extra base hit of the night for Corbett. And now Kaden Henderson up to the plate. She scored twice and reached base twice. And takes the first pitch for a ball. Henderson takes the 1-0 pitch, low for ball 2. That one fouled back to the screen. Wind still blowing in from center field as it has all night. If it hadn't been, that may have been a home run there for Corbett to lead off the inning.
Absolutely.
Hit off the wall on the fly, wasn't far from it.
Kind of lightened up a bit, though, but still, as you mentioned, really windy out here.
Henderson slaps that one towards second. Throw the first in time. That will advance Corbett to third. Henderson put out 4-3, but Corbett over third base with one down.
That's what you call a productive out right there, Noah. Moving the runner over. Ground ball to the second baseman, so it's not to that side of the field. Now 60 feet away is the Gators' 6th run of the year.
Slocum up to the plate, a walk, fly out, and a single so far tonight. First one inside corner, called a strike. Again, I'd like to remind you, we're also brought to you by Coca-Cola, Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC, and the Houston Clinic. And Jack Houston, the Houston Clinic and the Houston Hospital. One-on-one count against Slocum. That one's hit hard on the left field line, hooking foul. One-two pitch. High and outside for a ball. Two-two with Corbett at third. A little high for ball three. Good take there by Slocum. That pitch a little high. Good take by Slocum, and she's aboard with a walk. Now the cleanup hitter, Caroline Brazil, will step in. 1 for 3 with a single. And now Coach McConnell's going to head to the home plate umpire and do some paperwork. And may have a substitution coming in. Going to be a courtesy runner coming in for Slocum. It'll be Isabel Chastain coming in to run at first base. So runners at the corners, 1 out for the Gators, up 3, looking for some insurance runs. So 3 outs away from starting off the season on the right foot with a victory. That pitch high, and the runner goes, and Chastain's going to reach second safely.
So now if you're the Lady Gators, got 2 runners in scoring position here. We've seen a ground ball in between shortstop and third baseman. Another one of those here put 2 more on the board for the Lady Gators.
And it looked like that Chastain was stealing all the way, and can't imagine it'd be a throw down the second given the situation with the runner at third. Swing and a miss there by Brazil for a strike. That pitch a little high for a ball. 2-1 against Brazil. High and outside for ball 3. That one in there for a strike. Count full at 3-2. Second straight batter to go to a 3-2 count now, and you gotta think Gabby Eady's got to be getting tired out there in the circle.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen 3 substitutions, new pitchers for the Gators. She's been out there the whole time for Montgomery Catholic.
Pop up behind the plate and out of play. 3-2 to Brazil. Low in the dirt for ball 4. And they're loaded for the Gators. And now Coach Toole for Montgomery Catholic is going to come out and have another word with Gabby Edie. Going to be a new pitcher coming in for Montgomery Catholic. So Gabby Edie's night will be done, and we'll introduce you to the new pitcher when we come back for the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to Zaxby's for their continued partnership with us for over the last couple of years since we started this. Your partnership has meant the world for us to give you premier coverage for all the local sporting events around the Chattahoochee Valley area. And specifically, I want to thank Judson Humphreys, my good friend, and the Phoenix City location, being with us from the very beginning, man.
Absolutely. Well, we just appreciate what y'all do in the community for these student athletes, and we just want to be a part of it.
Whether it's tailgating, quick bite to eat, come to the Phoenix City Zaxby's location and tell them Georgia Alabama Sports Live and Thrift sent you. Thank you again to Judson Humphreys and Zaxby's for our continued partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
And welcome back to the Zaxby's Game of the Week here at Glenwood. Jaden Simmons, the new pitcher in for Montgomery Catholic, and she's in a pickle. Bases loaded, one down for the Gators, looking for some insurance run to extend their lead. First pitch to Chappa. Takes it high and tight for a ball. Kind of unfair to come into the situation already in the jam, especially for your first appearance of the season. 1-0, a little inside for ball 2.
Yeah, definitely not an ideal situation to make your first appearance of the season, as you said. But, hey, a ground ball here might get you out of the inning.
Yeah, and the Knights just looking to keep the dam from breaking. Chappa, ball 3. Pitch. Ball 4 called, and that will walk in a run. So Corbett will score. Slocum to third. Brazil to second. And Chappa over to first. Now Brooke Morrell, 2 for 3 with 2 singles. Looking to send the Gators lead. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Gators leading 6-2 here in the home half of the 6th. Pitch gets behind the catcher, coming home to score is Chastain, and she will. Now the Gators lead 7-2 after the wild pitch.
So bottom of the 6th here, Noah, you kind of feel like these last 2 innings, the game kind of getting away from Montgomery Catholic. They hung with the Lady Gators for the longest time, but walks have become a problem here in these last 2 innings.
Another ball there by Simmons. 3-0 now the count. 7 straight balls thrown by Simmons since she's entered the ball game. Hits Morrell, and that'll load him up again. Now Derdowski will step in. A single, a walk, and a ground out so far. First pitch taken for a strike. Outside corner, ball 1. Wind still blowing in from center field. As that one's taken for ball 2 by Derdowski. Low and in, ball 3. Three-one pitch. Line out of play down the right field line and on top of the lower school gym. So full count now against Derdowski. Three-two. High for ball 4, and that'll walk home another run. Brazil will score, and now the Gators lead it 8-2. Now Chloe Walden to the plate. A fly out, a sacrifice bunt, and a single so far. First one taken for a ball. That one's down the middle, taken for a strike. One count. Down the third base line, lands fair. Chapel will score. And an RBI single by Walden. 9-2 Gators.
Again, Noah, still only 1 out here in this inning for Montgomery Catholic.
9-2 to score, 1 down. Lola Monkiss, the 9th hitter of the inning for the Gators. 2 fielder's choices and a pop out. And fouls the first one off. That one a little high, ball 1. Foul tip back into the screen, 1-2. One-two to Lola. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back to the top of the order we go to Katie Corbett.
Yeah, no, if you remember last time Corbett was at the plate too, an absolute laser off the wall in front of us here in right center.
Had the leadoff double and eventually came around to score.
I believe she has a double and a triple tonight too.
No call on that one, ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. That one slapped towards second. Coming up to make the grab for the Knights is Riley Hudson, and that will retire the side. But the Gators do some damage, get some insurance runs. They lead by 7, 3 outs away from starting off the season 1-0 on the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood. And welcome back to the Zaxby's Game of the Week here at Glenwood. The Gators 3 outs away from starting off the season 1-0 here against the Montgomery Catholic Knights. Leading it 9-2. And Caroline Chapa still on the mound. First pitch down the third base line, just foul. And it is Jaden Simmons who came in relief for Gabby Eady. The 8-hole hitter first up for the Knights. Looking to mount a miraculous comeback. That one high for a ball.
Again, no, it appears as long as something drastically doesn't change in this inning, Glenwood will avenge that 5-0 loss to Montgomery Catholic here at the Swamp from just last season.
Simmons swings and misses for strike 2.
And another note, the score starting to kind of reflect those meetings from last year. It was a bit lower scoring here today, but 11-3 and 14-4 in the last 2 meetings a year ago.
That one pulled on the left field line, hooks foul. Yeah, we mentioned about how these two offenses didn't really rely on the long ball much last season, but got plenty of runs on the board. And looked early that we're going to have a pitcher's duel. It's 1-0 through 3 innings and then 1-1 for a while there. Then the Gators, with an offensive explosion, scoring a ton in the 5th and the 6th to pull away and sit where they're at now with a 7-run lead.
And absolutely, just kind of looking ahead, too. Both of these teams showed an ability to put runs on the board. Both averaged over 5 runs scored a game last season, so they will be a force offensively for any team they play.
Pitch low and hits looks like the ankle or the shin of Simmons. So the first hit batsman for the Gators of the year on the mound. So she'll head the first, and Anna Hill will step in, the 9-hole hitter. That one inside on Hill, and it clips her. 2 straight hit batsmen for Chapa, and 2 on the base pass now for the Knights.
So 9-2 lead for the Lady Gators. Not the kind of start you want here to start the top of the 7th.
And Chapa looked really sharp last inning when she came in for relief for Moncus.
You got to think maybe it was that long time off.
For sure. First pitch there against Riley Wilcoxon is in there for a strike. Riley 1 for 3 with a single, a fly out, and a ground out. Chopper to third, fielded by Corbett, and tagging the bag for the first out of the inning. So the lead runner's out at third. That's not Corbett, that's Coley Walden over at third. Should have known after that miraculous play she made defensively in the first inning, catching the ball over her shoulder.
Yeah, I tell you, for the first game of the season here tonight at Glenwood, we've seen some pretty spectacular defensive plays.
For sure. And
Going back,
Corbett's been playing left field tonight, and Walden at third.
absolutely. Just going back to that first inning, too, deflected off the pitcher Morrell. I believe it was Chapa that caught it at second. Just some great defensive plays from the Lady Gators here tonight.
Haley Ishman to the plate, a walk, a double, and a line out. Ground ball to short, over to second for one. Hargrove to first, not quite in time on the stretch. So 2 down, and the runners at the corners now for Montgomery Catholic. Hill at third, Ishman at first. And the Knights of Montgomery Catholic down to their final out. As Peyton Dees will step in 0 for 3 tonight. And just takes the first one a little high for a ball. A little inside ball 2. Two-0 fouled back into the screen. Two one popped up and slicing out a play behind home plate, 2-2. Chopper bat to Chapa, fire over the first, and that will do it. And the Glenwood Gators open 2026 on opening day for softball with a 9-2 victory over the Montgomery Catholic Knights. It was a pitcher's duel early, but then the Gators offense really exploded there in the 5th and 6th inning, and the Gators pull away to win it 9-2 in the season opener. Now for the Alex Quinney All-State Agency Player of the Game. Had a few nominees. Katie Corbett at the plate did some damage, as well as Brooke Morrell on the mound. But Caden Henderson reached base twice, scored twice, and had 2 stolen bases, as well as a great catch in the outfield here in center field. And that will make her tonight's Alex Quinney All-State Agency Player of the Game. So, Matt, any final thoughts here from opening day for Glenwood Softball 2026?
Yeah, just a really impressive performance from the Lady Gators. Come away with a 9-2 win. Be back in action this weekend, weather permitting. So, just overall a really good start to the season for head coach Josh McConnell and the Lady Gators.
12 hits, 9 runs for the Gators, 4 hits, 2 runs for the Knights. And so the Gators get revenge after the home loss last season to the Knights and win the season opener 9-2. So for my producer, color guy, cameraman, a little bit of everything tonight, Matt Melton, I've been your play-by-play broadcaster, Noah Shelton. We thank you for tuning into this presentation of the Zaxby's Game of the Week at Glenwood on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. We'll catch you next time, everybody. Good night.